3, 2, 1. Welcome to Breaking Balance. Redefining work, success, and life balance for all sales and marketing professionals. They are international speakers and coaches straight out of Jersey and the home of Spark Tank Media. Here is your host and co-host, Jeff Lobb and Nikki Brand.
All right, here we are. Breaking Balance. We're ready to rock and roll. We've got a fun topic today.
We sure do. The fun topic of
it's a crazy topic, but it's fun.
it is, and it's something everyone out there can relate to. Sales professional, stay-at-home mother, father, child, elder, you name it. The subject is time.
Time. Some of us have very little. Some of us have an unknown. Some of us try and figure it out during the workforce of like, how do I get more? And I think it's a constant tug of war. This is literally the unbalance of like our show.
Absolutely.
Where do you fit time, right?
Absolutely. That's why we wanted to talk about time, because I feel like it's almost taboo. Like, you know, we all go about our day just not even focusing on the fact that time management is the key to so many unlocked secrets in our lives if we can get a hold of it. And honestly, there's a lot of feelings around time that are really great and really bad that sit with people constantly. So first, Jeff, talking about time management, I feel like every single sales professional out there, anyone in the biz, right, is going to deal with, I don't have enough time to do that.
Never enough time. I don't have time to do that. Well, you know, what's funny is we find so many people that are so busy,
right?
And yet they're busy, but not making the money they want to make. So the question is always, what are you busy doing? And when they don't have enough time, what is it they don't have enough time for?
Exactly. And what are they wasting time with? There's a lot of waste of time, and we're all guilty of it. Getting onto the social media, screwing around with different things during the day where you're like, God, man, but somehow you end up down that rabbit hole. And now you've wasted an hour, you've wasted 2 hours. And I think, again, by the end of the week, you'll hear that excuse of, well, I didn't have enough time. And then you're right back to where you started. So when Jeff and I were talking about, okay, the subject matter, I feel like it's so relevant to so many people because we're ending the year soon.
Yep.
It's been quite a year for so many people.
It's been crappy for many.
You know,
it's good for others. Many others, it's been actually really good.
Hey, some people have flourished. Some people have thrived, and some people have taken advantage of the extra time that they've had. The gifted time. You know, we spoke a little bit about this last week about how you get this gifted time maybe with family. Maybe you've had more gifted time with your children, or maybe you've had more gifted time to focus on your work more because you're not traveling.
But
Jeff.
But the
the balance part.
Yes, there is a little more time there, but you can't break away to get the work you need to get done because the workload is gotten a lot more serious because we are trying to figure out virtual worlds. We're trying to get on conference calls.
Right.
And what we thought, you know, we have more flexibility because we're not out and about or out on appointments. It's actually created more work. I think it's more work and it's more exhausting. It's whether you're using a Zoom platform or GoToMeetings or Cisco, whatever you're using. I think it's like, it'll burn you out after like 6 hours of that. My eyes get fried after like 6 hours of Zoom calls.
It's funny you say that. And again, this goes back to that time management. So, you know, we have to look at, okay, how were we pre-2020 and how are we now? And it is a different way to look at time. So using the example you were just talking about, Jeff, you know, if you're grinding all day on that computer, a lot of people out there right now are going, that is me. I can't get up to get away to go do ABC that I need to go do. So when you're talking about the management of this time, you know, you can look at yourself and say, all right, what's one thing that I can do different? Right?
Damn notifications keep going off too.
All right.
Notifications are popping up.
So Jeff, could you turn those notifications off?
I could.
All right. But could you?
But I could.
Those bots are going to get you in trouble.
I know, I could.
So that's what we're talking about, folks, is that time. Those timed excuses of, I'm getting a notification about, that post I put on, say that was, for my personal on Instagram, or maybe
Yeah.
it was my
Social
business
posts. Yeah.
for Facebook. What do we do with that?
Well, there's a reason for that,
Right.
because we're so drawn to that, because there's the addiction effect to it.
Yep.
It's the dopamine effect of that notification goes off. It's like I
Yes.
tell people all the time, when you get a text, how long could you not look?
Oh, it's
Like
hard.
I got to see it.
It's hard.
So even if it's like, my kid now at home
Right.
sending me messages about like, hey, my iCloud doesn't work and I can't log in, and I'm like now pissed, but then it goes off again and I got to check it again.
I know.
So I think, I can turn off my social notifications,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
what about the business ones? Like the ones where I'm communicating with business, or should I create 2 channels?
So let me ask you this. What if, and maybe there's sales professionals out there right now who are absolutely dealing with this.
Mhm.
What if there is a time of the day where you don't check?
Mhm.
What if you get notifications up until
Yep.
a certain time
They turn them off.
and then you turn them off? Maybe you
Yeah.
program it that. What if there was a moment, a time portion that you could just shut that part down to be either productive in another way or to be unproductive? Because let's face it, there is pressure with time as well. There are deadlines. There are people out there right now going, if I don't get this done by Friday, I'm in trouble.
Yeah, marketing departments too, especially, or people doing
Absolutely.
projects, got to get them done.
Absolutely. So having to undo a bit of time sometimes.
But here we could go old school for a second. Let's take away some of this tech before we had a lot
Yeah.
of it. So earlier in our sales days,
Mhm.
when we wanted to kind of lock down and make prospecting calls, we
Mhm.
shut the door and put up a sign. And actually, I remember one of our internet businesses we were in, we actually bought telephone booths. They were like real kind of cool telephone booths. And you went in the damn booth and you made your calls. It was fun because it was like this cool
Yeah.
techie,
Yeah.
but you locked down. I mean, people walked by, you didn't give a crap, you were
Yeah.
making your calls.
Right.
So
And nobody bothered you.
no one bothered me. Like it was
They
just,
respected it.
yes. And
A
you know,
boundary.
it was a boundary. So in our world today, like how do we do that? How do we create that like telephone booth
Right.
that locks me down without either kids at home knocking on the door
Mm-hmm.
or someone bouncing in and out of my office thinking it's just an open door to come and go, especially managers.
Absolutely.
There are open door policies. However, there needs to be a time frame for that. My office hours are going to be from 12 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
Before then, let me do my work. If I can get done by 12.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really good take home for people to have a boundary when it comes to time.
Yep.
Having a boundary at the workplace, or if your home is now the workplace, having that boundary, because if time management is your Achilles heel, then making it a priority to say, I am available from here to here. Otherwise, I'm not.
Right.
Otherwise, I am busy. And then it's that self-discipline within ourselves to say, I'm not going to be on Facebook for the last hour,
Yeah.
or I'm not going to be, diddly daddling. I'm going to focus. And then I feel like that's when we need to look at ourselves and say, what do we do to focus more?
Right.
Right.
I think a lot of when it comes to focusing more,
Mm-hmm.
really comes down to just better scheduling.
Right.
Sometimes a lot of us don't schedule. I'm a big fiend of the calendar. I think to me, if it's not in your calendar, it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we always have sporadic times in our calendar. And it's a really good example. Like if you have a 12 o'clock appointment
Yeah.
and you're done at 1, or it's a call.
Yep.
Done at 1. My next appointment's done at 1. My next appointment's not till 2. What do I do between 1 and 2? If it's not in my calendar, what do I do?
What do you do? That's a good
What
question.
most people would do, you start to turn to the things that are usually not the most productive, but busy. Like I'll go to my social.
Yep.
I will check my messages. I'll go to my email and read through email.
Mhm.
Now, people might say, well, I have to respond to clients on email.
Sure,
You
sure.
do. But how long are you going to take? Are you going to kill that whole hour?
Mhm.
Or could I have scheduled 20 minutes in there that said, I'm going to call 2 new clients today?
Exactly.
I'm going to call, because even if I took 30 minutes and called 2 new clients and then spend 30 minutes, but if it's not my calendar, it doesn't exist.
So that to me, Jeff, is another great takeaway for friends out there. Is your calendar productive? Are you making the most of your calendar with time?
This is a fun exercise that we did in workshops. And I usually don't tell people about it. I just call them out.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if we just did this to our audience, like right now, whenever they're listening to this.
Mhm.
If I said right now,
Right.
screenshot your calendar for the next 7 days.
Ooh.
Right now, don't change it. Send it to me right now. What would it look like?
Awesome.
It's a freaking great. I had people send. You had to watch the faces because I had them on Zoom.
Were they just like mine? Like,
Holy shit. It was like, and I could see them going, like they're like, should I type something in? He's watching me. He's watching me.
And you're saying, let's be honest, transparent.
Send it to me right now.
Send it.
Because I'm going to say, hey, you got from 3 to 5 wide open. What are you going to do from 3 to 5? Because if you don't know, I don't know. What are you going to do?
Exactly. And listen, if it's you, the one bitching about the time, then you're the one who should be noticing that. If you're the one saying, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm making enough money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, hey,
I'm fine.
If you're making, if you're making too much money, you don't need any of this.
Fine.
If you're making too much,
you don't
need
if I want that downtime, that's me time, man. That 3 to 5, I don't want it. All right, then this is not for you. But if you're like the majority out there that's saying, oh God, I would be embarrassed to show him my 7-day calendar right now because there's a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there with, I can't really bitch, right?
Yeah. So, and here's a good, people are like, oh, here's a good tweetable post, or here's a good soundbite. You lose money in the gaps of your calendar. That's where you're losing money. You're hemorrhaging money in the gaps in your calendar. I don't care if your gap, you fill it with, hey, I'm going to go exercise or something.
Yes.
But if it's not there, most likely most likely won't be something productive.
See, now that to me is a huge, huge takeaway, because I am guilty of that too when it comes down to, my calendar and trying to balance with my kids at home and when I get to work. My thing is when I get away from the house, I can really jump in, focus, be there.
Yep.
It's hard to balance that when you're home.
There really is no balance, but yeah, you try.
With little guys running around.
But what about the excuse? Like maybe you or I or anybody might make the excuse, well, Jeff, it's in my calendar, but you know what? Things always come up. Like my client called me with an emergency. So now what?
Right.
Well, guess what? You always have to adapt to clients
You
and
do.
to shift. But if they didn't call, you can't rely on those fires to happen. If it wasn't there, you wouldn't do it anyway. But if it was in your calendar, then you just get a chance to move it to another time slot.
You do. And that's a key. It doesn't have to be done. It doesn't have to be gone. It doesn't have to be erased. Why not just move it? Let's make the most of your productivity, of your time management. Let's make the most of it, right?
And here's where it has to get force fed a little bit. Here's where people in sales and marketing struggle.
Yeah.
They have a 2:00 commitment to call 2 new prospects.
Right.
New business, new money.
Right.
Fire happens. I got to handle clients, right?
Right.
So then I'll just simply say to them, where are you going to move it to? Well, I'm not sure. Well, what time are you going to work till today? 6:00. Okay. Move it to 6:00. Stay till 6:15.
That's it.
Is that going to really kill you? If you're going to make 2 new prospecting calls that generates new money for you, and it's going to make you stay from 6 to 6:15 or 6, we're entrepreneurs. Get over it.
Yeah.
That's our life.
That is.
So move it there and just don't go home that time.
Right.
So
you do that?
That's just the acceptance, but no one has the accountability of that because no one holds anybody accountable.
Absolutely.
That's the challenge. So fun thing we just did. I don't think I even told you this. I was just on a call earlier before this, and we were talking about accountability of time. Because they said, when do you want to do by? And I'm like, December 4th.
Right.
And they're like, and the guy owns the company. He's got his staff there. What if it's not done by December 4th? I'm like, I don't know. You're the boss.
Right.
What's going to happen? Nothing. So I said, $1,000. Not done by December 4th. You pay me $1,000.
Oh, there you go.
Pay me $1,000.
All of a sudden it's getting.
And you got to see the agent's like, who pays you $1,000? We all pay you $1,000?
Yeah.
Sure. Is that too much? Too little? What? Oh no, it'll be done.
All of a sudden
$1,000.
that stuff's just gonna get done.
He accepted it.
Did he?
Yeah. He accepted it. Said done. And I think everyone looked at him like, holy crap, I didn't accept that. No, get it done by December 4th.
Wow.
Done. Now,
Time is money.
time is money. Now
Is money.
you want to say time is money? It's real money now. What's the number that's going to make you feel, is it $500, $100? To some people, it's not. But that trigger right there, I just threw it out there.
It worked.
He said it. Now time is money. And there's an accountability factor of time. So that calendar, guess what it's going to be filled with? The stuff they got to get done by December 4th.
Absolutely.
So that'll get done.
And I, Jeff, I think another really good point to hone in on is accountability. Who is holding you accountable if you don't have a hired coach?
Yeah.
It's you.
You. And we're not good at that sometimes on our own. Like
It's you.
we will make the excuse of, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another day.
Right.
Time to go to the, happy hour or
Absolutely.
virtual happy hour, whatever we're doing.
And I can say, like, guys, there is no guaranteed time. Anyone who has lost anyone in their lives, their time is not guaranteed. I don't care how old you are, how healthy you are. Time is not guaranteed. So Why not make the most of it now? And accountability is very difficult for a lot of people in a lot of ways. I mean, this is one of the biggest things people struggle with in the workplace, in the home place, is no one's holding me accountable. I can do what I want. I'm a grown person, right?
I'm my own boss.
Exactly.
Sales, I'm outside.
Right. Unless I have a hired coach that is literally holding me accountable, it's on me. So if this is something that you struggle with, we've given you some great tips right here. It's up to you. It is up to you if this is something that means something to you, because we can tell you day and night, and we can also tell you too, you will make more money.
Yeah.
With better time management.
100%. That's the only thing. It's all you have.
Absolutely will.
It's all you have is time. Time of the day. And here's the beauty of time. And I'll say it in two ways. I'll clarify. Time is fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fair in a way that means like how long I'm going to be on this earth or you're here. That's not
we
fair.
We don't know our day.
We don't know our day. Right. But it is fair in this. No matter who you compete with, who your top producers are, whoever your competitors are, they have the same 8, 10, 12 hours a day. You do.
Absolutely. That's freaking
fair.
right. You are absolutely freaking right. You know what? You can be smarter than me. You can be faster than me. You can be better looking than me. All these things. You and I are on the same time schedule, my friend.
Same one.
We have the same hours of the day. Yep. So the person who's working harder, the person who is giving more into time, more focused, more grit, more gut, is the person who is going to come home more successful, more money.
And that's proven because I've watched people work a side hustle part-time, like whether you're part-time in real estate. I know people that are doing 4 hours in real estate and they're full-time doing a full-blown career.
Absolutely.
And they're making several $100,000 a year when someone that's full-time in this business 8 hours a day can't make 30 or 40 or 50. Like there's a problem. It's because when someone's got that 4 hour window, that's all I've got. They're crunching it out. That's what they got.
They're crunching.
So there's no magic there. It's what they do in the 4 hours that some people can't do, or 8 and 10.
Absolutely.
So it becomes how you manage it and what you do with it. It also becomes who you spend your time with.
Couldn't agree more, folks. That would be a little exercise that I would love to do with someone, is to say, write down right now on a piece of paper, the 5 people in your life that you care about the most, that are in your life the most, that you talk to the most, that's your circle. I want to see your circle right now. Write them down. Put yourself right in the middle. And I want you to see on paper who you are surrounding yourself with. Who is your circle? These people are how you're defining your life right now.
True.
These people are how you're defining your life.
And what's going in your head.
And what's going in your head and what you're putting out and what you're doing. And if those 5 people aren't aligning to you and your goals and to your productivity and to your, best use of your time, then you have to look at your circle and say, I'm choosing to put myself this time into these people.
Right.
What am I doing?
It's crazy.
Right.
Now, I mean, let's think of this one step further. Let's take the time. Time at work is one thing. In your calendar's another. Who we surround ourselves with. What about when we go home now? We walk in the door, right? And some of you might not have kids. Some of you have pets, but we all face similar time challenges. When you walk in the door, what happens? Is it chaos? Is it what?
It depends on the day, but most days it's shit show, man.
Yeah.
Like, because everybody's hungry.
Yep.
So you got to feed your kids, right?
Hungry, sports.
So there's sports. There's running around. There is who's running this child here, who's running that child there. It's maybe cleaning up my house.
You have to do that too, huh?
Right? So we're talking, there's meals to be made. There's a house to be kept. There's laundry to be done. There's kids that need to be run around, right? And that's all time consuming. And there are moments where, I have to sit there and go, do I even want to do this? Do I feel like picking up right now? But then I'm like, how productive am I in a cluttered home?
Yeah.
So, you got to weigh that stuff out.
Yeah. And there's times where certain children require more time.
Absolutely. More time and attention.
Some want attention. While you can't give it all, I'll tell you. So there's a trigger for me. This is going to get a little personal.
Yeah.
And it might be personal for you too.
Sure.
So there's a trigger that I have to make myself aware of. And so let's just say it's my younger one. He can be a handful. And I walk in the door and it's daddy, football, whatever it is. And he'll just say like, hey, daddy, can we throw the football around? And I might be like, listen, I got like 2 more calls I got to make. And it's like, but then I think for a second, okay, there's only this window. He's going to be at this age and want to do this and actually want to even talk to daddy. Right?
Absolutely.
There's also a window that says, okay, if I don't do this, what's he going to think when older? Did daddy always just ignore me? Did daddy always brush me off?
Sure.
So I become that awareness. And then I also go back and my mom had passed away a long time ago. I know it's very sensitive to you, but your mom, but also I think like when my mom was in that ill state, all she wanted was more time. And like, what would, like, she'd give anything to have that 10 minutes with him. So like, what am I, a fool now? 10 minutes a time, 15 minutes a time. Now I'm not going to say I'm going to spend 3 hours throwing the ball around, but it's like when you get into a position where you don't have a lot of time and you know it, time is the most precious thing you have. And here we are, like, totally pushing it away when that's going to be their memories they take, good or bad. So for me, I have to bend on time.
You do.
I don't always do it right. I'm not always really good at it, but when someone does it, whatever it is, I stop and I go, all right, you know what? Yeah, let's throw the football around.
You know what you're doing? You're being self-aware. That's half the battle with time. That's all you got to do is be self-aware about it.
Right. And I'll tell you the other night, here was an exact example. One of the kids was like, Dad, you want to play Uno? Like, I don't like sitting and play board games.
Totally. Yes,
I don't.
Yes.
Come on, Dad, let's play Uno. All right. I don't know how to play Uno. Okay.
Right,
but teach
right.
me. And I sat there for 15 minutes when I did it. I beat him a couple times and he kicked my butt a couple times, but it was, he remembered that I did it. And then I was able to move on, but I didn't spend 3 hours doing it because I just couldn't possibly keep myself there to do that. And I had to get my sanity
back. You know
back.
what? It was a moment and a memory for your child.
Yes.
And it fulfilled them with what they need. And as a parent, you know, we're stuck between that like guilt feeling of what am I doing enough with time wise with my kids and my work and these things. And I can say that, you know, your child appreciated that moment of time.
You sure hope so, or if not, they'll remember it. I know this thing's blowing up at the same time.
Yes.
I'm like, holy crap.
And
I'm
you got to try
like,
to put it down, you know? We did something similar just a few nights ago. My daughter, who's 13, is just like, I'm losing her. And so she happened to not be doing anything. And they had this like murder mystery game. And she said, do you guys want to play? And my husband and I, it was like we couldn't say yes fast enough.
Oh, good.
Because we were so grateful she
actually wanted to include you.
So we jumped at it and we sat and played. It was probably a good 45 minutes played, and it was wonderful. And was it like, you know, a little monotonous, the game and same type thing? But I really tried not to look at the phone. It was silly. It was funny. And then, I took her shopping the other night with her friend, and she picked up another murder mystery game.
Oh,
so it
guess
was like, it must have been fun.
Something.
So you know what? I'll take it. And I think this goes back to that example before when we were trying to put in enough time during your day. If you moved that, say that, you know, whatever you're going on to 6 to 6:15.
Yeah.
Once that 6:15 is over, once your productivity time during your day with your business and your money and your focus is done, it is okay. I give you permission to go home and have the moment of
celebrate that little, like we say, small wins. We said it last time.
Exactly.
That's the win. You did the extra 15 minutes of the stuff you would never do. Now go do something fun or go do something else.
Exactly. And even as, you know, for those people who are addicted to the iPhone, addicted to the notifications and can't turn it off because it's always like, I don't have enough time. If you want to make the time for work, you'll do it. And if you want to make the time for family, you'll do it. And as we're talking right now, it's the balance of that. It's not easy. And it's going to tip the scale some days one way, and it's going to tip the scale some days the other. But like you said, when you went home, you said committed to a half hour of Uno
and football or something else.
And football or whatnot.
Because I'm always forced to be like, not right now, not right now, not right now. And I don't want to be the not right now guy because I can almost feel myself feeling the negative energy from that.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, holy crap, I just keep saying it. So now for whatever it is, and for whoever can do this in your own world, if you're like this person, you got to find a trigger that just says, wait a minute, is this going to be a memory he has or she has? And there's going to be a time in my life, I actually would wish he'd come go, Dad, you want to play some football? Because it's only going to be here for so freaking long. And
it's true.
It's gone.
It's true.
And it's any age, no matter what it is.
And then it's gone.
And then it can be our, 21-year-old, but now can we do this? Can we do that? Sometimes you got to find that time to go fishing or whatever it is, because it's not going to be here. So it's the reason we bust our ass and work so hard.
It is. And it's okay. It's okay to give yourself that permission to say, I put in a lot of time here. Now I can do this here. And if you're feeling like you're burning the end and you're feeling like, man, I just can't fit it in, we've given you some ways to kind of reevaluate your schedule and your day and your time, and see what works.
Well, watch this. If you had a full schedule and I said, I'm going to buy a massage for you tomorrow, you got an hour and a half to go or an hour to go. Watch how quick some of you change
You
your schedule.
goddamn right I'm going to change my schedule. All
Like,
of a sudden,
I got time.
this isn't so important. at
I
12
can make this
o'clock.
work. No worries. For 12 to an hour, I got an hour.
It's another good exercise. Challenge yourself to a massage and see where you can fit it in.
Yeah, I'm a monthly member now. So
Exactly.
That's great.
So yeah, guys,
All right.
if this were me, we talk about small wins is going to be big on our show. And I'm going to say the small win for me is your time is now. Your time is now.
Yep.
Make it count. Make it count when it comes to your business. Make it count when it comes to your family. And some days it's going to teeter one way or the other, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But make it count because it's not guaranteed. It will not be guaranteed. I can tell you that from my own personal deep loss of my own mother. Time is now.
Yep.
And, make it count in that special way. What's your small win, Jeff?
Mine's going to go back to you're losing money in your calendar. I'm going to swear by that till
It's true.
we get it. You're losing money in your calendar and the gaps of your calendar.
Mhm.
You have to be self-aware of it. Look at your calendar now. You
Yep.
know there's gaps in it now.
Yep.
You don't have to even tell me, but we just know that.
Mhm.
Even if you have that one magical calendar, it's got all these boxes filled in. The question is, are they all filled in with things that are going to be productive or things that are just busy for time?
Right.
Like I always tell people all the time, and not that it always has to be focused on new money because you have to take care of clients and service and
Absolutely.
projects.
Yes.
But
yes.
very rarely do we have enough pipeline filled of new.
Mhm.
We always continue to chase problems and past.
Right.
And then we get that funnel effect, which is I got all this stuff magically in sales and my pipeline's full and then it falls off.
Mm-hmm.
And no one likes sales funnels to fall off.
Right.
So you got to keep it full. So my small win, you're losing money in the gaps of your calendar. Be aware of it. Fill it.
Fill it up.
Fill it.
And time
Fill
is
it.
now.
Time's
Time is now.
Cool.
So that's what we got this week.
Awesome.
Feeling
Thank you.
good?
Yeah, feeling good, man. On for another one.
Feeling good.
See you guys are soon. If you want to reach out,
Yeah.
want to make sure you got our email address. We'd love to hear your small wins, whatever they are, or challenges or stuff that like, hey, or feedback.
Yes.
So Breaking Balance at sparktankmedia.com, Breaking Balance at sparktankmedia.com. And we look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. See you next time.